Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is just going to be kind of an update on the ragtop. I don't think I've made one in quite a while, and I do have little clips here and there that will end up in their own videos individually. But this one is just going to be a bit of an update on the car itself. So we've been cracking right on with it. If you haven't seen, we've got quite a few new projects. The white 914, the Wrecker, and now a split window bus. The bus is going to be interesting. I don't think there's going to be that much on it because it's, mostly done. We'll see. But this is still my priority. I want to get this done and going down the road. So we've been working on the rear end for quite a while. The bumper brackets are done, the rear body mounts are done, both sides. Still to make a patch there. I had thought that this was done, these rear bumper brackets, and unfortunately I'm gonna have to redo it, and that's kind of like the main focus of this video. As you can see, we've got the Herbie deck lid on here, and I've aligned the deck lid very nicely, about a 4mm gap all the way across the top. Body lines line up on both sides, very good. And the problem I'm facing, well, I won't show you this side yet. The problem is, these are measuring out differently. Volkswagen, in their body service manual, which is sitting on the floor, at least the printout's not a real one, I would never do that, but they want you to measure from over there to this rearmost hole, which is no big deal. That's the measuring point. And that checks out on both sides. The problem is that can check out, and it can be up, down, over, left, right, doesn't matter. That measurement can check out. And so what doesn't check out is, here to there, they don't even out. This side is higher, and one side's longer than the other. And so I've been investigating that, and as you saw that this gap was nice, well, it actually overhangs over here, which that's easy enough. You just roll that in. But there is a problem. If you put the apron on, it kicks the lid up a little, and it pinches the gap at the top. You can see barely how that would pinch the gap at the top, but when it pinches at the top, it widens the sides. And so I've been fighting this, and I'm going to have to run out to the red ragtop and confirm my findings. But I made a jig here. In the Volkswagen service manual, they say to make jigs for all sorts of things, and they're very helpful. You might say, why do you need a jig? Well, I took that fender, which, let me start over. I had the original rear fenders fit on this car, and they looked really good. The problem is, the original fenders, a little rusty, they flex. Beetle fenders flex a lot. This is a Super Beetle fender, brand new, never been hit. It still flexes, not as much. So what I did, I went to the ragtop, the red one, trammed out measurements with a tram gauge. That's a tram gauge. Took measurements, took photos of the measurements, came to this fender, confirmed all those measurements from that car fit with this car, or this fender. So, with that information, I came to this car. On this car, that's original, that's original. That's original, that's original. So, put a nut on this, put a big washer, put a bolt in this one, welded a tab between them. Same here. Then I took them to that fender, centered them in the holes, clamped it to the fender, and then I measured, based on the tram measurement, made sure that the fender was still good, and then I just centered bolts and washers in all the fender holes, made bars, and welded them over. And fun fact, it's 19.5 centimeters between each bolt hole. I don't think that's a coincidence. Down here, it's 19. They're closer together, which checks out on an original panel. So that checked out. So I made the jig, and That lines up, that lines up, that lines up where it was, that lines up where one would have been. Good, golden. Then you get to the aftermarket panel. That one lines up, which makes sense because that one was kind of pretty close. It was longer though, and what do you know? It's longer. Does not line up. Does not line up. Barely lines up. And that's almost 19.5 from that hole to this hole, which makes sense. So what that tells me is that when I took these off, the way I sectioned these in, which I shouldn't have done it, because it would have been easier to not do it this way. But I cut it along here, and this is where it needs to be. The problem was, when you have a small strip of steel, it bends very easily. So I just said, yeah, that looks about right, and sent it. Don't do that. That's why you have the jig, because now we know this is kicked this way, which would kick the apron, which would kick the lid up. And we'll also throw off a number of other things, which include the fender, the bumpers, the trays. It throws off the whole rear end. And so I'm going to have to cut it and push it back in. And Volkswagen did not think this was a problem in the 60s when they gave the one measuring point, because when you bought either the section for here, it had the shelf in it, you probably wouldn't have been replacing those rear firewalls, and you could just line it right up. You'd have a fender, brand new probably, to line right up. And they also expected, if it was at a dealership, that they would have jigs like this, and they could just put it all in alignment. So I'm going to have to make another one of these for the other side, but these are handy to have because this doesn't change on any Beetle. That's why I was able to use a Super Beetle fender. So I have a jig. I'll have jigs for the rear end for all cars, and I'll be able to do these without measuring ever again. And also, you use this jig to locate these. These I'm pretty confident of because I measured off of, trim holes and plumb, and that'll be fine. But I'll have to redo these, which is not really a big deal. It's not a lot of welding. But once I get that done, I'll be able to put an apron on. Maybe my aftermarket apron will fit. Maybe I'll end up with a new old stock one. Who knows? You can see I've got heater channels and floor pans sitting there waiting. Gotta do the floor pans before I can do the channels. Not really that difficult to do any of this. This is just really difficult when you cut both sides off at once, which you shouldn't do. I just break the rules, and it messed me up. But we've got everything just about metal-wise for this car already. I've got the firewall pieces as well, so we're ready to crack on. And it's winter, which is my season to do metal work because it's not warm, which is perfect for me. Just come out here with a sweatshirt and get this thing done. But that's what I'm working on with this. I've been fighting it. Figured you guys would need an update. So this is coming out soon. Hopefully I gotta see. I might have it sandblasted once I get all the metal work done, because then I'm gonna epoxy it. Do the body work over that. High build multiple times. This is gonna be a concourse car. So that's coming up. Got a video coming up on that too. TIG welder. Yes, welder sent it out. I've been working on the video. I'm working on getting a couple different materials to show. So it's not just steel, because that can do more than steel. So we'll see about that. But yes, that's what we've been doing. There wasn't a video last week. The one before that was the split window bus video. And for those of you who thought I was actually scammed, come on. There was no scamming. Neither one of us knew that it wasn't a panel van. So what can you do? I have the birth certificate that I will show in the video for that. Very interesting, actually. And it's tough deciding on what I'm going to do. But that's what we've been working on. So I wanted to give you guys an update. You can see the door gaps are messed up. That's because of where I've got it sitting on that, even though it's braced, because that's right under the post. Just pushing it up. When I take it off of that, it'll be fine. I'm thinking of making a little rotisserie for it anyway. yes, so that's going to wrap this up. You guys know where I'm at now. Oh, this is actually a good shot. You can see with the engine wood good. You can see how the gap pinches across. Not good, but we'll fix that up. It's no big deal. It's just metal. Don't overthink it. So, with that one, guys, that's going to wrap up this video. It's actually gotten a little longer than I wanted it to be, but what can you do? Want to update you guys on what's going on in here. That's going to wrap it up for me, guys. Have a good one. I'll see you later. Take care, guys.